afternoon, my movie-loving brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining on this Monday afternoon on the Screen Talk Live YouTube channel, where we talk about all things movies, TV, screen-related news. I'm, of course, your humble host, Keith Toothman. I'm joined today by my friend and co-host, Shane Wallace. Shane, how are you doing on this lovely afternoon?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having me, as always. Terrific time to be here. It's feeling good outside. A little chilly, but, I'm digging it.
Yeah. Lots of rain. Lots of rain today. It's been very rainy, but I love the rain, so it's been nice. It is a little chilly, but it has been nice. It was really windy, too, yesterday, like crazy windy. But, yeah, very fall-like leaves everywhere, just so many leaves. There's like a group of small children that came and knocked on my door the other day and was like, "Can I rake your yard for $30?" $30?
Yeah, no kidding.
What? Get out of here, kid. I thought it was going to be like $4 or something. I was going to be like, I'll give him 10.
That's what I'd say. I do 10 and then maybe a $5 tip.
Right.
But just remember, no matter what with the weather, that no matter what, there's always going to be blue skies heading your way.
Right, but not very still where we are,
No,
that's for sure.
no.
But, guys, don't forget, if you're new around here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can have your movie news when you need it, where you need it. How we like to do things around here is we like to go over a few main topics, and then when we're all done with those, we'll take any questions or comments that you guys have down in the chat section. So make sure you guys are putting those in, and then make sure you're sticking around to the end of the show so you can see them get answered. With that being said, we're going to jump right into our first main topic today. Shane, we talked a little bit about this, not much, but Apple TV Plus is finally changing their subscription price. So if I believe I am correct, it's been 3 years now that we've had of Apple TV Plus. And I've had it for whenever Macbeth came out. I've had it for that long. And to be honest with you, I have seen Macbeth on there, and I've seen Severance. And
What about The Northman?
no, I seen that in theaters.
You haven't seen it again?
No, I haven't. It's on. I think it's on Amazon, isn't it?
It is now.
Yeah,
or on Netflix. I just added it since I had those two.
But yes. But yeah. So other than that, man, I don't think I've used this app at all. But it has been, I believe it was $4.99 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it may have been a little cheaper than that. But $4.99 a month is kind of so cheap, right, that you kind of just forget about it, and you justify it as like, hey, man, even if I watch one movie a month or something from there, it's probably worth $5, or $4.99 a month. And I agree 100%. Again, I may be paying less, so it probably doesn't bother me either way, no matter how much they increase it. But it looks like they're jumping it up $2, so it's going to go from $4.99 to $6.99 per month. There is a lot of stuff on here that I haven't seen personally, but I know are big hits. Like, for instance, Ted Lasso, as we see in the article. That's a really big thing that a lot of people watch, and people love Jason Sudeikis, and there's a few things on there that I know are really big that I just haven't had time to check out, and I don't really know how much I would really enjoy it. Ted Lasso was a coach at Wichita State too in the show, so that's pretty hilarious as well. But yeah. So $4.99, $6.99, not that big of a jump, $49 a year to $69 a year. It's $20 more. It's not that bad. Like they say in the article, I'll read a quote here. We introduced Apple TV Plus at a very low price because we started with just a few shows and movies, Apple said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter. 3 years later, Apple TV Plus is home to an extensive selection of award-winning and broadly acclaimed series, feature films, documentaries, and kids and family entertainment for the world's most creative storytellers. So, I mean, I agree to a certain extent. Again, another thing I haven't seen, right? I haven't seen Coda, and it won Best Picture at the Academy Awards last year. And it's been on there, and I have the app, and still haven't went and seen it. So, So yeah, so I obviously they do have a bit of a reputation now with some of the stuff they have. Again they have a Best Picture winning film. They have series that are doing really well. Severance is great. It is definitely one of the better series I've seen in a while. I really enjoyed it a lot, and if they continue to make more stuff like that, then I'll be all about it, and you'll see me not complaining about this at all. That being said, in the grand scope of things, right, this still isn't crazy. $6.99 a month, guys, come on. We're paying again when Netflix was I pay $19.99 a month for Netflix for the version of it that I get. We did talk about on the show that they're dropping to a lower tier. What was it? Was it $6.99?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so.
Sounds right.
But as we talked about, it's a 720p, all that. This is $6.99. You're still getting everything that you were already getting at $4.99. You're still getting 4K capabilities. You're still getting digital Dolby capabilities, digital Dolby sound capabilities. So, it's definitely still a way better bargain than Netflix is trying to give us at $6.99. And honestly, it's a better bargain than most of them, as long as they keep delivering us that, like they were saying in the article, award-winning content. As long as they can keep bringing that, then I think that over time we will slowly see this happen. I said this years ago when Disney Plus came out and it was $4.99 a month, and everyone was like, "Whoa, this is amazing." I'm like, don't get used to that too quickly, because it's brand new and they're just trying to get people to come in. But at some point they're gonna realize, hey, we can't charge $4.99 when Netflix is charging $20 a month. So I think this is an example of that. I think we'll see more streaming services start having to increase a little bit, especially the ones that are lower. Again, like $4.99 a month. Shane, I was telling you, I pay $1.99 a month for Peacock. So I mean, over time, eventually these services will have to charge a little bit more. But I think with Apple is a better example of how it's done, where you give us, again, award-winning material. That's a good way to attract people. I should go over and watch Coda. I should be watching these things. I don't know what the hell I'm doing in my life, guys. I would rather watch people fly around and punch each other, I guess. But I'm sure when I watch Coda, I'll be like, what the hell? What was I thinking? So I have Apple TV Plus. I'm keeping Apple TV Plus. Shane, you're hearing this. I know you don't have Apple TV Plus, but you have enjoyed the luxuries of some Apple TV Plus stuff. Give us your thoughts. What are you thinking about this $2 price increase?
Well, we've talked many times on this show about these streaming services. How are they making money? And, so I'm not surprised at all that there is a price jump. Their excuse, though, of, hey, we have more content, it makes it sound like it was part of a plan of how, hey, we'll start at this low introductory rate for a few years, and then we'll, beef up our catalog, and then we'll pay more. I'd believe that if they weren't also increasing Apple Music as well. So obviously they're trying to, collect some extra dough. And honestly, at the time they're choosing to do this, a company like Apple, during a recession when my bread's already a couple more dollars and they're telling me, hey, spend a couple more dollars on milk, and now True. Apple comes along and it's like, hey, you're paying a couple more dollars for everything else. Right. You might as well. And it's not like, it's because of the recession. It's like, oh, we have to pay our actors more. We have to pay the copyright legality. Right. The lawyers that we employ cost more because their services during the recession, whatever. So I think it's pretty despicable. Let's say that Apple is now doing this price point raise at this point in time. I mean, wait a year. Let's wait until the summer. I mean, whatever. I don't have it. The problem I'm not going to get it. So
I don't know how
I
long you can wait, because it's been 3 years, right? I mean, and again, they do have. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It's one of those things. Read the room.
Yeah. I get your take on it for sure, and I agree.
And they got their, their board of trustees, and they got all their shareholders, and they're like, yeah, but if we wait, that's $30 million that we won't get in that next 6 months. So of course,
so maybe the best way to do it, I think, because I think you have a valid argument here. And so maybe the best way to do it was to say, hey, starting, next month, if you're new to Apple TV Plus, it's going to be $6.99 a month.
Cool.
But for our current users, for the next year at least,
there you go.
We're going to honor that you keep your $4.99 price point. I think that would have probably been the better way to go about it.
For someone who at the beginning of the summer had 5 or 6 streaming subscriptions, and now I've cut it down to 3. It's one of those things where, I'm feeling the crunch. I'm sure a lot of us are feeling the crunch. Even if you're not, you're still noticing a little bit. And so to have a company at that point go, hey, here's a little bit more, I think that's a great compromise where it's like, hey, any new subscribers, Peacock just did that.
Yeah, they did.
When we were doing Halloween,
right.
Key was all like, just buy it. It's $2. And I'm like, they're telling me it's $5. I'm trying to buy it. They're telling me it's $5. It's like, oh, it must have been when I signed up for it.
Yeah, it was.
So, that's, and, I think, too, that as a subscriber holder, that's some of the perks, too, where it's like, man, I'm never going to get rid of my Apple Plus because I'm spending $5.
I've been grandfathered in.
Exactly. So, not only does it work to, to get more money coming in, which obviously they're wanting to, but it's going to retain that as well. It's like, well, I don't want to ever get rid of my Apple Plus.
For sure,
What's it going to be in 5 years?
Especially as it goes on, right? Because, let's say in a year they finally do raise you up to $6.99, but the people that were at $6.99 go up to $8.99.
Yep.
So you're always getting kind of a price cut and a deal for being part of the group early. Right, exactly.
Agree.
I think that's brilliant. And a company like Apple should totally be looking to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
When, again, as we talk about all the time, they don't care about this. This is something that they're like, growing in a garden in the corner. It's only one of them. They got a lot of other shit growing that they care a lot more about that yields them a lot more crops. So, but I get it. I agree with your take 100%, and I think that, there's probably should have been some sort of compromise, especially for those new subscribers, or for those loyal subscribers, and it makes sense to even, I think it is a kind of a marketing gimmick in itself to say, hey, and if you people out there that haven't got it at $4.99 a month, you got 30 days, and then if you ever want it again, it's going to be $6.99 a month. That may even entice someone like you that doesn't have it, like, damn, I might as well grab it now because who knows what it'll be. It could go up again. Right, exactly. So,
and like you said, any type of loyalty program, I know that I enjoy, but man, my wife, and I'm sure there's a lot of people like my wife, if someone has a punch card or something, oh my God, it's like they care about me. And even though she knows that they don't.
Right.
But it works the same way with this.
Valued.
Exactly. That, so someone like my wife hearing that, she'd eat that up. She'd be like, suckers, I'm only paying $5.
Right. Again, especially as the years go on, right? But anyway, guys, so what are you guys' thoughts on all this? Do you guys have Apple TV Plus? Are you going to keep it with this $2 price range? Are you going to get rid of it? Do you not have it? Are you not interested if it goes up more? Clearly you didn't have it already, so it's going to be a lot less interesting at $2 more per month, right? But yeah, let us know down in the comment section below what you guys think. With that being said, we're going to move on to our second main topic. Shane, our second main topic today is something we've been talking about a lot around here on the channel. So if you could for me, Shane, too, I would like you to bring up Black Adam on your Rotten Tomatoes over there, if you could.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
And I just want to see where it's at because
the
last time that I looked, man, it was approaching the 30s. And I'm a little worried about it. But that being said, the good thing that we want to talk about today is that it beat box office expectations. I believe we talked about just here on the... What's it at?
39%.
39%, guys. This movie's sitting at a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I said it, if you didn't hear my review, it's not a great movie, but there's just so many great moments that by the time it's over, you just feel like, yeah, that was cool. But anyways, that being said, it brought in $67 million over the weekend and to the box office. Beating out Halloween Ends, who was the current reigning defending number one champion at, what was it, Shane? 40-50 million it made last week. So it doesn't beat it by much, but it beat it by a lot comparison to this weekend because Halloween Ends dropped massively. So, but if you look here, so Black Adam brought in $67 million. And Ticket to Paradise was second. That thing has been killing. I don't know what the hell is going on. They got a cocktail for it, Shane. It's advertised and everything.
What
it look? I don't know what the hell it is, but it looks good. It looks like some, a fruity paradise, like an island
a Mai
drink.
Tai type of thing.
Right. It's colorful and it's got fruit hanging out of it. And I almost got it before I realized they had the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson Shazam or Black Adam cocktail. But yeah, so this Ticket to Paradise is still tearing it up. Another thing tearing it up, Shane. Smile was still able to bring in it beat out Halloween Is, right? It beat it out, not by much, but it was still able to bring in a little over $8 million, which is, again, crazy. Me and my wife had tickets for Smile last night, guys. We ended up going over to Shane's house and hanging out, and we missed the movie, and we completely forgot we had tickets, and we didn't cancel them, and we got charged anyway, but oh well. But yeah, I want to see this movie so bad. I'm so happy that it's continued to have success. And I imagine, this may sound crazy, but I'm going to say that it will make more money next weekend. That on Halloween weekend, I bet Smile makes like $10 million. I imagine it's going to do a very good weekend when everyone's wanting to go out and see stuff like that before Halloween ends, right? Pardon the pun. But yeah, so yeah, Black Adam's smoking these things, right? That being said, when we were talking about this, Shane, on the show last week, man, honestly, it is just so weird for me not to see $100 million plus opening for this movie, right? You have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which we often talk about as maybe one of the last real movie stars left. You have this big DC character. Pretty much everyone that knew about the movie knew Superman was going to be in it at some point. It kind of had everything going for it. And I just thought for sure that it could have 100 plus opening weekend. Now, when they were projecting it like a few months ago, they were projecting like 155 million, but when we talked about it last week on the show, I believe they were projecting 55. Mm-hmm. So they actually, beat projections by a lot.
And they lowered it. I think originally it was around 80, and then they lowered it to like 60, 55 or 60, I can't remember, and now it came in at 67.
Yes.
So it's kind of in between their original projections, below that, but above their new projections.
Right. And again, I'm a little shocked that it's not, way more. And also, I guess the most shocking part and the most telling part to me, and I think this speaks a lot to it, is that it is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's biggest opening weekend ever. So I guess I don't know why I was expecting $100 million opening weekend, guys.
What more can this man do for you, Key? Come on.
I don't know what I wanted. I don't know. But yeah, so his biggest opening ever, $67 million. Good for you. I'm happy for The Rock. I'm happy for this movie. I don't think it deserves all the... Shane, do you have what the audience was?
Yeah, it's at a 90.
90%. And I said this on the channel that this could be one of those ones where critics are at like 40 and audience is at 90, and it totally is one of those ones because a word that I hate using but we all know is fan service, and this movie almost feels like they're just delivering what they know we want. Like, again, it's not a great movie, but there's so many moments where they give us what exactly we want, the way we want it, and it's so done well that we're like, God, I love that movie.
Yeah.
So
DC needs one of those movies too.
Yeah.
That was a safe movie. That's okay. There's plenty of other characters to not be safe. Batman, I thought they played it very unsafe, and it paid off.
Yeah.
So, the critics score on Rotten Tomatoes, I know you've explained this to me before. So 39% of the critics had positive things to say is how Rotten Tomatoes works, right?
So the way it works is it's like it basically and the way we live is a thumbs up, thumbs down world.
Sure.
Is the way you got to look at it. So they can't go on there, a critic can't go on there and say, well, I think it's a 60%
Sure,
or
it's just
something.
good or
it's
bad.
It's just, I liked it or I didn't.
You know, the thing is, this is why I dislike Rotten Tomatoes. So my wife and I last night, we watched a movie called Society, and it was pretty cool. It was a horror movie. It was by the producer of The Reanimator. Well, the movie he made right after that, The Guyver, do you remember that with Mark Hamill?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? 40% on Rotten Tomatoes critics score. It has a 1% better review than Black Adam. Now, you explain that to me. Please, Key. Let's spend the next 5 minutes. I don't want to take any more time during this segment. I just want you to explain to me why Black Adam in the critic's eyes is a worse movie than The Guyver.
Well, you know, I talked a little bit about it on the show. And again, I was back to, you know, I'm hating saying this phrase. I really hate saying this one, but comic book movie fatigue, right? I think there's some of that starting to happen. So, again...
do you think this is a good remedy for comic book fatigue? Is Black Adam a good, a boost of, you know what, superhero movies? I'm going to say
no, I think Black Adam's a perfect example of a movie, again, just like I felt Thor 4 was this year, which is, you showed me that 10 years ago, and we had all been like, oh my God, best superhero movie ever made. But now that we have so much material and that is good and diverse and different, it just felt like another one, kind of, you know. That's how Thor 4 felt. And Black Adam, I could see to a critic, you know, not a guy who just goes out to see Marvel movies and comic, but goes out to see all kinds of movies, right? I could see where he'd be like, man, I'm getting kind of tired. It was good, but man, it kind of feels like everything else I've seen.
Do you think The Rock helps, seeing The Rock as a superhero?
So I think The Rock actually hurt this film. Yeah, and the reason I think that is because we know The Rock as such a charismatic guy, right? He is like one of the most charismatic people on the planet. Proof positive is the not Jungle Book, I'm sorry, the one Robin Williams did, Jumanji, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
yeah.
So he revitalized that, brings it back, brings Kevin Hart aboard, and that movie makes $1 billion twice, 2 of them, because, again, he's so charismatic, and you team in with someone like Kevin Hart or someone else funny.
Another charismatic person.
Right, and it works so well. But then you take that guy, right, the most charismatic man on the planet, and you make him this brooding, with no emotion kind of, you know, character. I think for a lot of people, that took away from the film for them. What, you know, it was just hard to see The Rock in that.
You know, that's a great point. So in a perfect world, it'd be Henry Cavill playing Black Adam and The Rock playing Superman.
For sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think a Rock Superman seems like a no-brainer.
I think
right?
a Cavill Black Adam sounds like it makes sense to me. Honestly,
there we go.
Because it is. You're honestly 100% right, and it would make more sense. But yeah. So I think if we get to a point, you know, or we even had someone comment on, you know, our Black Adam video. That said, you know, that mentioned about how, you know, shame on The Rock for making a good movie because, you know, now I want to see more DC movies. So I at the end of the day, I think that what the audience is seeing, what the audience is reviewing, and what the audience is doing is going out and seeing this movie. So at the end of the day,
90%.
I think it'll be a success. Now, the other thing that commenter mentioned is how different it will be to, at some point, right, cross this movie with Shazam's. Because Shazam's is like this lighthearted, kid-friendly, and then this is like almost an R-rated movie. It really felt R-rated. It did. So to put those things together, you know, almost maybe he should have been Shazam.
Oh, there you
right?
go.
I mean, because then you get this lovable, you know, hunk of a dude that, yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm still glad that it's doing well. I'm glad that it beat projections at the box office that they thought it was going to get. I'm glad it's The Rock's biggest opening weekend ever. I'm still sad that they didn't have any popcorn buckets for me, but
Well, maybe this one. I didn't get to see it. We were supposed to see it yesterday.
Yeah.
And then today.
Yeah.
Both of those fell through. But either tomorrow, probably, or Wednesday,
Right.
you're going to get another try it to get the popcorn bucket?
If they got them.
Yeah.
I mean, he told me that they didn't even get any. So
Yeah. Are you going to call around the theaters? Maybe that'll entice you?
there's only one AMC.
Yeah. Oh, AMC's the only place you can get it.
Uh-huh.
I see. I
Yep.
see.
Yeah, so I'd have to order it online. And
Road trip.
yeah.
Let's go to the big city.
That still didn't work out like I was mentioning on the channel last week. I had last time ordered a Mjolnir popcorn bucket when I was at Thor because they allowed a bunch of people to come in and buy them that weren't even seeing the movie, so they were gone when I got there. And they were like, "But you can order one online." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool."
So they could have too. The people that came in,
right.
they could
doubt.
have ordered it online.
And so I did. I ordered one online when Thor 4 came out, which was, I don't even remember, May.
Yeah, right.
You know, and when I brought it up on the show the other day, I was like, that thing was like $75.
Where is it at?
What's going on? And so I looked in my email, and sure enough, in the damn description of the receipt they sent me, it says right on there, "This is a pre-order for fall 2023."
Okay.
And I'm like,
2023? What? So right in time for
I'm
Thor
like,
5?
all right, I am so done. I'm like, can I cancel? Where's the F you button, man? Anyways, but guys,
so when you finally get it, you're going to be like, "Hey, do you remember when Thor 4 came out?"
right. Here's the hammer popcorn bucket for it.
Can we have an unveiling on their show when that finally comes in?
Yeah, for sure. We got to now, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be this big presentation.
And maybe we can put like a counter on the screen of how many days it's been.
Right, for sure. I mean, it's like I said, it's been months. I mean, to have for $75, dude. Just to have my 75, that's a loan. That's a loan at that point. Right. I want interest.
No kidding.
But anyways, guys, what are your thoughts on this whole Black Adam situation? It killing at the box office. Have you guys gone out and seen it? Did you like it? It seems like most of the audience has seen it, enjoying it. I dug the movie. Again, I don't think it's a great movie. I don't think it's a top 10 comic book movie of all time. I don't even think it's top 15 or 20. But I think it has some moments in it that may be top 10 moments in a comic book movie of all time. And more than anything, something we talk about all the time, Shane, is, as important to a good story as good characters. And when they're done right, you should get what I got when I walked away from it, which was, I want more Dr. Fate. I want a Hawkman movie. I mean, I really fell in love with these characters, man. Like, and as Shane knows, I'm not the biggest DC fan. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of any of their characters, really. But as Shane also knows, I've been looking to spend as much money as I can. I'm gonna hire a private investigator so we can find me that Dr. Fate helmet.
I love it. I got to see this in action.
I'm going to be Fate, guys. It's inevitable. It's Fate.
You've already seen it.
Right. Anyways, guys, moving on. With that being said, let us know down in the comment section below what you guys thought of Black Adam, or when you're going to see it. Have you seen it? All those kind of things. We're going to move on to our third main topic today. And our third main topic is this. So, Shane, we talked about, again, this on the show multiple times now, about murmurs, rumors, and then kind of confirmation from The Rock and stuff that Henry Cavill is coming back to play Superman. And then, I don't want to say this is a spoiler because it was reported everywhere, so I feel like everyone knows it. And obviously, he was in, post-credit scene in the Black Adam movie. So, which we also reported here on the show. So now it looks like Henry Cavill himself has actually jumped on to social media and let us know, that he himself is now teasing that he is going to come back and play Superman. But, again, this is news that we kind of already knew. But yeah, so you see here, he made this tweet of him in this. This is the costume, guys, from, if you haven't seen Black Adam, this is the costume. In fact, behind me here on the screen as well is kind of what, it's very bright. I would even say the blue is a little bit more brighter in the one that he has.
Definitely more brighter, and they bring the yellow in.
Yes, for sure. The yellow is like, I mean, it.
I don't think there was any
I
yellow.
got to be completely honest with you. I kid you not, the very first thing my mind thought when I seen that yellow was, ooh, Wolverine may look good on the big screen. I really did.
You know,
I know it's a whole different dynamic. I know
never even tried.
I know it's a whole different dynamic, and it's a full-blown yellow shirt. But, man, the way it popped.
You know, Frank quietly had already done exactly, and who was the other guy? There was another comic book that had Wolverine in a yellow suit that looked believable because they did it as if it was real life, and it wasn't all spandexy. Mm-hmm. It can work.
Yeah, for sure. It could. And yeah, this looked great. Like I said, guys, the yellow really popped. It definitely gave me that feeling of Superman from like when I was a kid. Like, I don't know what that means, but that's just how I felt. I felt like he would, save my cat from a tree. But yeah, it looked, really badass. So yeah, this is, a tweet. He said, tweets, here's the quote with it. A very small taste of what's to come, my friends. The dawn of hope renewed. Thank you for your patience. It will be rewarded. Reward me, Henry Cavill. I need more Superman. We need more Henry Cavill Superman. It is what we need. And I'm glad we got it in Black Adam. I'm glad we're getting more. I'm happy for Henry Cavill because, again, there was a time where it felt like maybe it wasn't ever going to happen again. But, yeah, I like that name, too, The Dawn of Hope. That's a good could be a good movie title. But Shane, you're hearing this again. We kind of knew this information already, but now Henry Cavill is on Twitter, confirming it himself. Tell us what you're thinking. We know your favorite version of Superman is Henry Cavill. So
absolutely, I don't fault Henry Cavill. I just think Man of Steel was a misdirect made at a wrong time when a Superman movie didn't need to be made. I think that was the problem because the take was just so dark. However, now, with how the world is, this is exactly when we need a Superman movie. Something uplifting, something you want to sit in the theater and cheer for, right. Rather than just, wallow in despair. And, I think this is another perfect time, too, because I didn't think making a good Batman movie was possible. Well, they just proved me wrong. Mm-hmm. So now I don't think making a good Superman movie is possible. Well, here's their chance.
You're just gonna say it, just
yeah, absolutely. Because now I have faith that they can deliver me a good Superman movie because I think the time is right for a good Superman movie. Like I said, Superman's uplifting. And, I think they took that away from his character. Again, I don't think that's Henry Cavill's fault.
I mean, I was telling Lucas on the show last week, he was talking about, what he would like to see in Man of Steel 2 and stuff. And I was saying it's ironic that you say this because it does show you the times we're in as humans, as humanity, especially as Americans, right? I don't want to see him fight a villain. You know what? When I was a kid, Superman helped us. Mm-hmm. Sometimes jets fall out of the sky and he just carries it. You know how badass it would be just to see Superman walk a jet down, man?
There's a great Alex Ross comic book.
Yes.
And most of that comic book is him feeding the poor.
Exactly.
Come on. Exactly.
That is not only what we need, it's what this character needs. Again, because after having Man of Steel, I mean, clearly we can't do anything like that, right? So we need more of that. We need more of, us feeling like we're more connected to him as a human being.
Absolutely. And, and I think it's just the experience, too, of what the character is. Because Batman, what makes him so appealing is it gives us the possibility of what one person can do. It's just like, oh, my goodness, that's so amazing. Superman's supposed to inspire people to do more. We should be coming out of the theater going, you know what? Next time I see my neighbor, I'm going to give him a wave. It doesn't even have to be a big thing. Just something that is more positive. And like I said, I think this is the perfect time.
Yeah, he doesn't have to save the world every time. It really is not. Again, Superman when I was a kid was never about saving the world. I mean, it was sometimes. But when I always mentioned to you, I had a Choose Your Own Adventure Superman book that I read for like 4 years because it literally I could like make it new every time. I mean, I was like 7, so, but again, there was probably 300 different stories that you can make with that. And so many of them were just him helping the community in a way, again, even like there would be a fire and he'd come and the firefighters are struggling to put it out. And Superman's like, hey guys, let me help you with this one. right? Like, come on. Like, to me, that stuff is so cool. And again, like you said, I think it's a great point that we need that.
We need this.
We need that, man. We need that. We need to feel like that. We're all in this together, because I think it's easy to forget that.
Well, and it's with Superman, I think it's a really slippery slope too with this type of character that we could end up with a movie none of us want to see because when you're developing a story, you're always taught conflict. What's the conflict? Well, when you have Superman so overpowered that the only conflict that you can do is, bigger battles, more explosions. Right. And it's just like, at some point, it's like you said, we have this fatigue. We don't want more explosions. We want deeper characters. And, Superman is a perfect character to give us a little more deepness. And again, it doesn't have to be a brooding, depressing. It could be the opposite of that, inspiring people that are brooding and depressed. And, maybe that's the element that we really get into the psychosis of, Metropolis. Maybe we do make it like what Halloween wanted to do with Haddonfield. Right. And, and it's this kind of dystopian, everyone's, seems happy, but they're all sad. And then Superman comes in and, does more than they imagined could be done. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of possibilities to go with than just more battles, more explosions.
Well, and it's like me and Lucas are talking about, with the Black Adam movie we just got, again, the Superman we all know and love flies down into that situation. He's not going to fight that guy. He's going to realize quickly, like, hey, man.
Nobody wins if we fight.
Not only that, you're a good dude. Like, it's in there. I can see. He's the best of us. He knows when to do things better than anything else on this planet, and he can make those decisions very quickly, and they're usually always on, the best decision.
Yeah. And, I think it works both ways, too, because Superman's an alien.
Yeah,
and why does
but he's raised a human being.
But why does he stay on Earth?
Because he's our protector.
I think it has to be more than that. I think
you know why he stays on Earth, Shane? Because with great power comes great responsibility.
That's true to an extent, but why I think he really stays on Earth is I think it's a two-way street. I think we inspire him, and he inspires us.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
And I think we need some of that. Why he wants to be human. And why he craves to have a relationship.
But he's also a
love.
super version of a human in outside of a powered version or outside of powers, right? He's just almost, I don't want to say this, but almost like what a religious figure is in the fact that, he's almost perfect, right? He doesn't make mistakes like we make and stuff like that. So I think that matters a lot too, right? I think that, I don't know. I just hope that when we do get it, that it isn't anything like Man of Steel. I mean, that was so long ago, and this version of Superman, especially if you're telling me it is the same Superman from Man of Steel, I mean, that was literally even in canon like 2 decades ago. Yeah. So this dude should be completely and totally different.
I'd like to see what the world's like. Has Superman stuck around? Has he, what kind of world do we live in if Superman's been the protector for 10, 15, 20 years?
Right, for sure. Yeah, but yeah, and yeah, I think you bring up a great point that we inspire him as much as he inspires us. And him being the great, again, that deity that he is, he sees that, hey, I can make real change in these areas where they need help, or and I think that's kind of what keeps him here too, because he's just a good dude. He just wants to do good, and he wants to see everyone succeed. I think that's so important. Back to what we were saying is what kind of something we need. We all need that. We all actually individually in our lives need people to be like, hey man, this and that, you're doing good. We need encouragement. We need examples, role models. We need things to look to and go, okay, that seems right, And what better thing than Superman?
Exactly. So, and, I think some of the appeal to Superman too, I think if you give us a more grounded movie, someone that he can develop real relationships instead of just running from everything and trying to discover his past, Because when we think about Superman and then like the lore and all the comics, we also include Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen. I mean, both of them had their own comics for decades. You know, Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane.
Yep.
And I think that's some of the appeal to Superman is that he's so overpowered. He can do absolutely anything. But at the end of the day, he's like me. He wants a friend to talk to, or he wants someone to love, or
he's
someone
a human.
to hold him.
He's raised human, so at the end of the day, he's just one of us.
And I think that's the appeal because no matter what, Superman's still on the quest for what I want. You know, just a good life.
For sure. Exactly. A good America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good world.
Right. Yeah, for sure. That's why the real best Superman we ever had was the Red Sun version.
I love that
He
book.
just wanted what was best for all
Mark
of us.
Miller. So good. Where's that movie?
Right. They did make it. That movie's great.
Animated
it's an animated movie. But God, if you haven't seen it, that movie is it's so good. It's definitely a R-rated movie. It's not something you want to watch.
And seeing the rest of the Justice League in that as well. Seeing those takes on
for
what
sure.
happened to their characters.
It's not as bad as like what's that one they put on Amazon with the yellow and blue? Oh, goodness.
Yellow and the blue.
I can't remember his name. I almost said Kick-Ass. But whatever.
Oh, Impulse?
No, but you're close.
Not Impulse. I mean the
Invincible.
Invincible.
Yes,
yeah.
Invincible.
The Bendis book.
Yes.
Brian Michael Bendis.
Like that one.
Oh, yeah, that's not for kids.
Oh, goodness.
No. That book is not. It's more of a realistic take of what superheroes would be in, a modern world.
For sure. But yeah, that's...
No. Invincible, that's Robert Kirkman. That's the guy who did Walking Dead.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. No, it's really good, though. Like, because basically you got the Justice League, you got Superman, and like, it's not really them, but it's, people like them, and it's great, but it's very brutal. And Red Sun isn't that bad, but but I would still consider it R-rated for children. That's for sure. That being said, guys, let us know down in the comment section below. What are you guys' thoughts? Again, we've talked about it a lot on the channel, but Henry Cavill's, on Twitter himself teasing to us. It's coming. It's happening. It's in the works. There's a process being moving forward. He's got the new suit. He's just wearing it at his house. He's just waiting. The suit's been in the closet. He's waiting. He's ready. He's like a real Clark Kent. He's just been acting like an actor this whole time, guys. Every set he's been on in every movie, underneath every costume, was a Superman suit, and he was waiting for this day. So I'm glad it's here, and let us know down in the comment section below how excited you guys are for more Henry Cavill Superman. All right, with that being said, we're going to move on to our fourth and final main topic today. Our fourth and final main topic, Shane, the Antman 3 trailer is out, and we just watched it. And I thought it was not very good. I guess I don't have any real complaints about this other than, I just can't help but be honest. It just kind of hit me with okay, this movie's coming, and nothing stood out to me. Nothing felt like, whoa, look, there's this, or, nothing. I guess in a world where we always expect some sort of cameo, right? Like maybe, a cameo that's not Bill Murray. That was probably the most surprising part of the trailer, that they decided to put Bill Murray in it with all the controversy going on. But yeah, it just didn't do a lot for me, guys, to be honest with you. It starts, actually how it starts, I really like it a lot. It starts with Paul Rudd kind of reminiscing, how it all started and all this.
Spider-Man.
Right, yeah, love all that. And then it gets into, a Marvel movie or a comic book movie, it feels like. Again, hate using that fatigue kind of thing, but it kind of felt like that. It kind of just felt cookie cutter, to be honest with you. I love Paul Rudd. I will go see this movie. I'm going to go see this movie. I'm sure this movie will be good. Like me and you were talking about, Shane, Ant-Man 2, to me, it wasn't a bad movie, but I've watched it once, and I would probably never watch it again. It's just not good. There's nothing that, it's exactly how Black Adam is. only with no badass moments, right? Black Adam's just like that, only there's like so many like badass moments that you're like, oh, this is so cool. Where Ant-Man 2, they want to give you that, like there's that shot where he throws out like a Pez dispenser and they turn it into a giant one and it blocks the road, and like that's cool and stuff, but I don't know. It just didn't do much for me. That being said, the original Ant-Man, I was just telling Shane when I first watched it, I remember loving it. Just again, me and my wife love Paul Rudd. Who doesn't love Paul Rudd so much? We all love Paul Rudd so much. He's clearly a vampire. But yeah, but then when I came back to that original Ant-Man, I remember thinking, yeah, this is so generic to me. And I kind of feel like that's how this felt to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, it just felt a little bit like that. Also, I've been really excited to see Jonathan Majors actually play, the Conqueror version of Kang. And we got a little bit of that in here. Again, it just didn't do much. It wasn't, I don't know. It was kind of meh for me, the whole thing. I wanted to love it. I like the idea. There was a couple of those little worlds we seen, like the micro worlds. And I was telling you, Shane, I wanted to see like some Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type stuff where, like ants were trying to attack over something. I don't know what I wanted. But as you brought up, the writers of Rick and Morty wrote this, and you could definitely feel that in the quantum realm when they're in there. You can see that there's like these worlds they built that look very vibrant and colorful, or just very different. You're just not sure what we're even seeing, but it is the quantum realm. Probably there's probably lots of places like that in there. Again, nothing really stood out to me in the trailer. The point where it all like starts sucking them in to the quantum realm is when I really started to disconnect with it, is because I remember thinking, what? Like, so Cassie's already built this box. She's already had it turned on. But now that I'm showing you guys, it just so happens to blow up and suck us in, whatever. I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal. Maybe they explain it in a different way in the movie, but it just kind of felt like, really? Like, okay. And then, like I was telling Shane, they all get sucked in without suits, and they would die immediately as soon as they got there. But then we cut to the quantum realm, we're all in suits. Again, I don't know how this works, but we'll see, I'm sure, when the movie actually comes out. Shane, you've had a chance to check this out, and I can say this without joking and complete confidence. Shane, you have seen Ant-Man 1 and Ant-Man 2.
I can't believe it.
Right? I mean, either, man. This is
It's probably because I like Ant-Man 1 and Paul Rudd. That's why I saw it. It was one of the few Marvel movies I've seen and own. I actually have that on Blu-ray. Mm-hmm. And I remember kind of being excited when the second one came out, and I remember just having so much difficulty getting through it. I just did not enjoy it. But, based on this trailer, the stuff that I think is really cool is, like you said, this quantum world that they built, the society and all the ideas. And I think that can be really interesting and something that they haven't done, even though they're in the quantum realm a little bit in the first two movies. We don't get to explore the different races or the people. And I really feel like that is a gold mine. That's what drew me into the original Star Wars, was Mos Eisley, the cantina scenes, all the different races, and, what world are they going to show up to next? And so having a Rick and Morty writer, developing these ideas, that has good possibilities.
It's funny how every world, though, was that way. Like, if it was a jungle world, whole world.
Oh yeah, right.
If it was ice world, whole world. Yeah, right. Desert world, whole world.
It's like a video game, right? You reached ice level. Right. Now you got ice level going on. The thing that I won't see this in the theater, unless Key drags me out to it. But it sounds like he's probably not going to see it in the theater. But I will probably watch this movie because of Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
We'll see how I like it. But the things that are going against this movie for me is stuff that has nothing to do with this movie itself. It's just the other movies. And the problem is sometimes when you have what I thought was a good movie with Ant-Man, had a really nice wrap up. He gets his family right back. He's got his wife and child now. I guess it's ex-wife still, but he gets a girl, or maybe I don't remember. But
Yeah,
he's
I
got
don't
his family
remember that
back.
either. Yeah.
And so now we start the second movie and say, okay, well, his life's good. What do we? Oh, Michael Douglas. Now we got to get his wife together.
Right.
So okay. So now we get that. So everyone's got a happy family. So now we start with this third movie, and it's like, yeah, it's this happy family. Why are we going on adventures?
Right.
It's turning into Jumanji, right?
Right.
And so then, the stuff you talk about, that this gal builds a machine that sucks them into the quantum world. Why that doesn't work for you is because it's absolutely forced.
Right.
Why do we have another
We need
adventure?
it away.
Well, because it's popular,
Yeah.
and so we got this clear MacGuffin.
See, now that being said, we often talk about, being really honest to the characters, how Batman is a detective, right? And we never really see that the way we did, like in the Batman. And that's what I wanted to see with this, right? Because Scott Lang he's a heist guy, right? He steals shit, you know?
That's what drew us into the first one.
And my thought was, what brings him in is Kang's like, hey, I need the best fucking,
it's like the Italian Job.
Yeah,
and he recruits a bunch
I
of
need the best
superheroes.
heist guy.
Now that would be cool, and
Right?
it's not just him. It's kind of like a Suicide Squad, but a heist job.
So we got to bring in, but Ant-Man's leading it because
it's his movie,
right? And he is like, again, his big power was, he stole the Ant-Man suit,
and he's got the charisma to recruit people. It's almost becomes like an Ocean's 11
for sure, right? But the way they get there is Kang realizes, hey, I need something stolen from someone, and the only person that can do it is this guy.
And then he kidnaps his daughter or something to make the stakes higher.
Come on. How great is that?
Listen to us.
Man.
Marvel, we hope you're watching because we got the ideas here.
Right, for sure. And it would also honor the character and make sense, right?
Absolutely.
Now it makes sense why we're in the quantum realm
like
and we're
said,
seeing Kang.
Now
it's just going to be a coincidence, right? Well, we were there. Oh, you guys happen to be heist people? Well, I need some shit stolen. Like, come on.
And to me, that was the major appeal to the first film. It was these criminals.
Yes, it was
doing.
It was a heist movie, right?
Yes.
It felt like a Marvel movie
people
mixed with this bank robbing
superheroes.
movie.
When you have it's Captain America, of course he had no other choice but to be Captain America. Oh, it's Thor. Well, of course it's Thor because that's who he is.
Right.
But someone like an Ant-Man, it's like, well, he's not supposed to be a superhero.
Right.
That's why it made it work.
He's just a dude.
Yeah, he's just a dude.
In fact, he's not even a good dude. He's a thief.
And now you've made it to where, he is just a normal, regular superhero. He's out to do good, and now he's saving the quantum world.
Right. And I think there's some good, brilliance to that, to think that, all these other heroes, and even, probably the people that live in that world kind of view Ant-Man as like a lesser.
A joke.
But the fact is he's actually out there saving the world, I think that's cool. But again, I think you got to find a more organic way to do it than, my daughter just made a box and somehow that connects to the quantum realm and then now it's going to suck us all inside of it. I mean, that sounds like something literally a kid would have. Well, how do they get to the quantum realm? Well, maybe there's just like a box someone builds that sucks them in.
Right.
Like,
get off my back.
Right. But yeah, I would have liked to see that, and I hope that this movie does touch a little bit more on that. Maybe we do find out, however it happens, whether it's shitty or not. But maybe we find out that Kang does want to use Scott Lang to steal something for him. And I think that would be great. I think getting back to that heist feel that the first one had is really cool. Because, that's when I think Marvel does really good, is when they make these like genre films, right? It's not just a cookie cutter film, but this one's horror, or this one's sci-fi, or this one's the Italian Job, like that could be cool if done right. Or like The Winter Soldier was kind of like a political satire, right? So if you do stuff like that, I think it will. It could be good. So hopefully they do lean a little bit more on the idea that he's a bank robber or a heist guy or whatever you want to call it, and we get to see a little bit more of that. But yeah, that being said, guys, let us know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about the trailer. Were you excited? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you more excited for Ant-Man 3? Less excited? I was so unexcited. I thought there was already a third movie, apparently. So I just moved. I just moved right on Ant-Man 4. Yeah. So, but yeah, let us know down in the comment section below, guys, what you guys' thoughts are on the trailer. With that being said, we're going to move on, and it looks like that's our final main topic today. So
yeah, it looks like it's question time.
So yeah, Shane, we're going to move on, take any questions and comments you guys had in the chat. So what do we got, Shane? Landstander,
he wants to know, everyone is asking where Black Adam shows up next. Where does Dr. Fate show up next?
So that's a great question. I mean, so the thing that would make the most sense to me would be Flashpoint, because that's kind of everyone in it. And I mean, there's literally, they brought Michael Keaton's Batman back for it. There's going to be every version of Batman. I wouldn't be honestly surprised if we didn't see a small cameo of like Robert Pattinson's Batman or the Joker that Joaquin Phoenix played. You know, I would not be surprised. So maybe they were able to slip in a little Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson cameo in that. That would kind of make sense. It seems like doing a Dr. Fate cameo in the Flashpoint movie could be a no-brainer. I mean, he's Dr. Fate. He could be anywhere doing anything. He's to me kind of like the Sorcerer Supreme, you know, or like Doctor Strange, in the fact that, I mean, if the Flashpoint thing's going on, he knows. You know, he knows. And if he needs to be involved in any way, even if it's a small role, then he's going to be there to do it, because, you know, it's fate. So, but I mean, I'm not even really sure. We may have to do a video on this this week, but now that we've had Black Adam, I'm not really sure what's left on the DC slate, like, coming up. So I'll have to look into it, see what movie's coming next. I just can't even remember, honestly. But yeah, I mean, I guess there's a chance. To me, with the success of it, with the audience's success, and as long as it keeps making money, you use this, like people have been saying, as a jumping off point to kind of reset it. And to me, he kind of becomes Superman in the way that he could be in anything. Like, I mean, he's a good dude. He's an anti-hero, so he could be in any movie in any way too. So yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see him in literally whatever's next for DC. Even if it's like they did with Supes, where we see him in like a post-credit scene. I could totally see that. You know, like he is going to be a staple, I think, for the DCEU. So I expect to see him a lot more. Now, that being said, if they bring Cavill in like they say, I would think they would want to do that too. Have Superman kind of around here and there, you know. And from what we talked about last week on the show, it seems like the writers and producers of these kind of want these guys to have a relationship. So I expect to see a lot more moving forward, Black Adam and Superman. That being said, I would rather never see those two dudes again in my life if I could get a Dr. Fate movie. Just give me the Dr. Fate movie coupled with the Dr. Fate popcorn helmet bucket that I can reach in. And when I reach in, I want it to talk. It's like, your fate says more popcorn, right?
Amazing. What's the Dr. Fate drink?
I don't know. It's probably got to be golden. Like,
so it's that gold leaf vodka, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I can't express enough how much I love this character. So I actually did go to a couple comic book stores yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah. When we left your house, we stopped at right there at Wizards.
Oh yeah, Wizards.
And
right there.
And I walked straight in, and they've changed it a lot in there. It's not, they don't have near as much.
It's more
as
of a
they
gaming
used to. Yeah,
store
it is
now.
definitely. That's what they're focused on, and that's cool. But I walk in immediately. I'm just like, anything Dr. Fate? What's going on here? And he's like, no, I haven't heard anyone ask for that in a long time. I'm like, yeah, well, get ready, because it's gonna start happening soon. So, but yeah, they didn't have anything. No Dr. Fate, nothing. They did have The Rock, Black Adam figure, which was kind of cool, but man, I could really care less. I want more Dr. Fate, man. It was even a Hawkman. I would take a Hawkman figure over. I mean, I guess if I could get a really, really, really cool Superman figure, I guess I'd take that. But it'd have to be like like a really expensive one probably. But yeah, so yeah, more Dr. Fate, please. What do you think, Shane? When will we see Black Adam again?
Well, I could see Flashpoint, but like Dr. Fate, you're not the only one. From what I was looking at online this weekend, everyone's loving Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
Even The Rock had a comment on it and say, hey, we knew this was going to explode. It was just such a good character. So if is Flashpoint the next DCEU film?
That's what I was saying. I really can't. So it was supposed to be,
but yeah, with everything,
yeah, it's been delayed multiple
whatever
times.
The next DCEU thing is, whatever it is, I don't care if it's a Burger King commercial. They better add Dr. Fate because you're right. You're not alone here. Everyone wants more Fate. Whatever their very next thing is, they better be adding it right now if he wasn't already involved somehow.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, honestly, if I really had my choice about it, I want to see like a series, something where we could. Because to me, there's
a lot to explore.
In the little bit that we got, it feels like there's so much to be explored there with that character. So I don't know if 2 hours or 3 hours or however long they want to make movies is enough. I want so much Dr. Fate, man.
I love it,
but I want it to be as good. So if in order to make the helmet and the effects good enough, it's got to be a movie. Then so be it. But man, it would be cool to get really again, they tease so much. There's so many little teases. I want to know about the helmet. I want to know who's had it before. I want to know how long it's existed. I want to know who made it. How was it forged? There's so much I want to know about this character. And again, I think to me, that's what speaks the most about this movie. And I think when movies are good, we should fall in love with characters. I mean, I probably should be walking out feeling that way about Black Adam himself. But hey, who cares? As long as I came out in love. Again, like I said, I'm not the biggest DC fan, guys. So for me to walk out of this and be like, I definitively have a favorite DC character and I want to buy merchandise right now of it I think it speaks volumes to how well that character was portrayed in the movie, right? Because again, you look behind Shane. There's not very much DC besides Joker. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. I think that's all we got. Yeah. So yeah.
He asked me if what I wanted back here for the show, and I was like, "You got some Batman?" And he was like, "I got a Joker poster."
Yeah, so not very much DC in my life, so I'm glad to have it. And again, I will be the first dude that buys the $1,000 Dr. Fate helmet that you can put on and like it augments your reality, right? Like I'm the guy. They only make like 3. Give me one. But yeah, so and what do you think about Dr. Fate showing up? Where would we see him?
I would say in the very next thing, no matter what.
So what about Black Adam then?
I think that maybe you give him a break. I could see him showing up in Flashpoint, but, don't overuse it, especially if you have big plans with some of these bigger characters like Superman. Then, let's pump the brakes. You just had a full movie. People are wanting Dr. Fate.
I agree. It makes more sense, too, because, again, he is that, Sorcerer Supreme character, right?
He should be everywhere.
Yeah, he could. Well, I think he literally could be in multiple places at once, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it seems like it. So if so, then maybe he's handling and like we always talk about it with Strange, how he kind of knows what's going on, right? Everyone is maybe clueless, but Strange knows all the shit that's happening, guys, and that's exactly how Dr. Fate felt. But so much so that he even knew what Strange was doing. Wherever he was at, one of the helmets, oh, that dude, he's all right. God.
I'm not a big fan of his musical choices. I can make a better playlist.
I could take him for sure. That's for sure.
Who makes a better music playlist, Fate or Strange?
Oh, God, Fate. It's got to be Fate. It's got to be. I mean, Fate's music playlist probably goes back millennia, right? Yeah. I mean, we're gonna hear some epic. It's gonna be like John Williams level.
Yeah, he'll actually have some Bach on there.
Right? Yeah. Right. Where everything Strange is listening to is gonna be like
all 70s.
Yeah,
80s.
right. Yeah. And who cares about that shit? So. But yeah, so more, yeah, I really can't express enough how much I fell in love with the character, and yeah, I would love, and again, it would make sense for him to know what's going on with Barry, to know what's going on with the Flashpoint situation. I mean, if there's going to be a reset of the timeline, it would make sense that he, you know, that's fate, right? If he sees the future, he's gonna see that coming, and he's gonna again want to at least figure out, you know, is it for the best, is it for the worst, what should I do, what's my role? So it would make sense to see him there, and again, I would eat this thing up in anything. I mean, if I had my choice about it, he would float down right in the middle of Namor fighting Black Panther, and he'd be like,
now I control Wakanda.
that's my choice, guys. Give me fucking Dr. Fate, man. I love this character so much. It's so good. It's just so good. And honestly, I could give a damn if Pierce Bronson is playing. That's how much I love the character of Dr. Fate. I mean, don't get me wrong, Pierce Bronson as Kent was amazing, and it fit so perfectly, but I could give a damn. Like, I don't care if he never took his helmet off. Like, it's just so cool. Again, just the stuff about the helmet itself is more interesting. You know, I'm sure Kent is like a regular dude. Yeah. He seems like a Doctor Strange, you know, like a very intelligent, rich, well put together guy, you know. But you know, we've seen that story a million times. What I haven't seen is a helmet that was built by an alien race, you know, a millennia ago, that's been passed down by its own choosing. You know, like, just so much I want to know. So
a lot to offer.
Yeah, can't wait to see more Dr. Fate. What else do we got?
Yeah, Lily Ollie wants to know. Whoa, this is a tough one. Who is the strongest superhero? Well,
my heart wants to say Hulk, strongest of them all, right? Hulk, mightiest, strongest Avenger. I guess it depends on what we're saying. So, like, if we literally had like a world's strongest man competition, God, I would say the Hulk could probably win that. If we're going hand to hand combat, I think we got to go that no one could beat Superman, right? I mean, he's just the ultimate character. But to be honest with you, even in a feat of strength like a world's strongest man competition, you know what that is, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Even in one of those where they pick up the big boulders and shit, God, it'd still be hard to beat. It'd still be hard to beat Superman, man. I mean, Hulk could inevitably do it, but I mean, he could get so big that he'd just destroy everything trying to, you know, do it too. So I don't know how you measure all of these things, but as we often say, you know, the end all be all of superheroes is Superman. Like, he is the, you know,
alpha and omega.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So my heart wants to say Superman, but Superman's also like a totally good dude, and he doesn't want to make the Hulk mad. So I could see Supes like winning all the way up to the end. He's like, I'm gonna let Hulk win.
I'll do it for the kids. The kids love Hulk.
I don't want him getting too mad, and then I got to deal with that.
That's true.
So, and he's just too smart. So he's gonna be like, I'll let Hulk win. So I can see that happening more.
I like that
for sure. But other than that, outside of those two, I mean, in a world's strongest man competition, you'd probably Thor would probably be in it. I don't know who else. You know, maybe the Thing. You know, you'd want to try to get the strongest people. Shane, who do you think? Who's
all right? I'm going to go with a curveball here. Who's the strongest superhero? Yes. Well, to me, willpower is true strength.
Okay,
so
I like
which hero has the greatest willpower? Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern. Green Lantern, strongest superhero.
Yeah, that's true. Unless it's the original, because I found out recently.
Yeah, he's his kryptonite is wood.
Can't beat Groot.
Yeah, you can't beat Groot. Yeah.
Not even close.
Or an int. Or,
right.
You know.
Not even close. Groot would just beat the shit out of him. If the ring can't work against Groot, he's in real trouble. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good one. I like that answer. But my favorite Green Lantern is still Jon Stewart. I mean,
oh yeah, Jon Stewart's a great one.
When I think
Especially
about it,
you...
I think of, we talked about the Justice League and who leads them. It's often debated between Batman and Superman. Stewart. Yeah, but when I was a kid,
Unlimited.
Jon Stewart was there was no question. Superman knew it. Batman, the group knew it. Jon Stewart led us. I mean, so to me, he was always my Green Lantern.
There's a great debate on who's the strongest Green Lantern.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's been definitively said multiple times in the comics that Hal Jordan is the like supreme version.
I think so too. Yeah, sure. Or Sinestro.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Hal Jordan. Yeah, I mean he beat Sinestro, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean
they fought so many times.
You never watched that great movie that came out?
Oh my god!
We got our boy Ryan Reynolds.
I'm not even gonna take my mic off.
Future sponsor of the show, hopefully. My mobile service, Mint Mobile. I already have it, Ryan. Just sponsor us. I mean, I've had Mint Mobile since you bought the company, dude. Since you bought it, Ryan.
Ryan Reynolds just proves that all that Nicolas Cage had to do was just be a fantastically nice guy.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
Ryan Reynolds can do anything like Nick Cage, like a Green Lantern.
Right.
We're just like, oh, that's not going to ruin your career. Don't worry, Ryan. Oh, we still love you.
Right, for sure. What else do we got?
All right. Last question here from from Low Key Auto Sales, Antman versus Atom Smasher.
Okay,
who wins?
So I am very curious of your answer on this, Shane. I don't know a ton about Atom Smasher other than what I was introduced in Black Adam. I obviously know a lot more about Ant-Man, but from the little that I know, these characters are almost the same thing.
Oh yeah.
That not just power wise, but even like person wise. They were the character of Atom Smasher is very spacey, and he's like Paul Rudd.
Yeah. Well, he's more of a dumb brute, though. Yes. I would say than Paul Rudd.
Well, he seemed more like a young jockey.
There you go,
kind of.
That's a good way
like
to put it.
Whoa, like I said, there's a scene where he's like about to touch the Fate helmet. No one in that room is stupid enough to do that except his dumb ass. So yeah, Shane, I propose to you, who wins in a fight, one-on-one, Atom Smasher versus Ant-Man?
Well, you are right. I mean, these guys are identical, especially when it's the Scott Glenn. Is that his name? I can't remember. Scott Lang.
From Ant-Man?
Yeah, because that version of Ant-Man, he just finds the suit. And now he's Ant-Man. He's not the Hank Pym
is the original,
where you could possibly say, he might, be able to come up with some contraption or
not in that. He's been Ant-Man for years, Hank Pym.
Yeah.
So he
knows it a little bit better.
He's kind of skilled, as
where
in the costume.
Two, are
they
very
both
new.
seem, for sure.
So I'm gonna have to say, who take them out of their uniforms, had them fight barefisted. Who do you think wins? I think Atom Smasher.
In that case, I'm gonna go Atom Smasher. Yeah. Because again, he seems like a young kind of jock. Yeah, he seems
been
like
in fights.
He's physical.
I see Scott as this guy who's talked out of fights. He'll talk his way out of fights.
Well, yeah, he's a thief.
Exactly,
He's trying to avoid confrontation.
Atom Smasher, he's like, oh, all right, we're fighting.
Yes, and he was. He was definitely like that in the movie. And they, like I said, they really felt like the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean, it was hard to decipher because. And I'm sure, the thing that really's got to suck for DC when it comes to like someone like me who
the movies came out first, but the comics came out first.
So now
Ant-Man's the original.
Of course, I do a show on YouTube. I'm embedded in this shit, so it's easy for me to know the truth. But your regular moviegoer, like my mom, might go, well, they're just copying Ant-Man.
I'm sure they've heard that. Absolutely,
right.
Which is kind of a rare, with so many JSA characters to choose from, it's kind of interesting that they went with Atom Smasher.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes you, wonder why, for sure. Where, like, I thought Cyclone was a unique choice because it felt kind of like what you would say, like Storm, maybe, or something. But it was unique in that it was just that,
Well, Cyclone makes sense to me, too. I haven't seen the movie, but she's a newer character.
Yeah, she's young. So she's that one to kind of bring the young crowd in. Yeah, for sure. And she made so much sense, and she was great. The lady that the young girl that played her. I can't remember her name, but she was awesome. The dude that played Adam Smasher, again, he reminded me of kind of like how Paul Rudd's character is too. But even with Dr. Fate, right, you may hear that, like I said, that, they're Dr. just Strange. Copying Doctor Strange, you know, but with a mask, you know. And, yeah, that sucks. That's got to suck, especially as we go further and we have characters. Because I don't know.
Strange
you may
might
know.
predate Fate.
You may know this, but I'm sure that some of these characters.
No, not at all.
So Fate was first.
Oh, big time.
So there you go.
Big time.
So there you go. And that's what I was saying. What I was getting to is that you may know more, Shane, that, you know, the truth, which is, you know, maybe Atom Smasher came out 20 years before Ant-Man or whatever, where I don't. So sometimes it's like, you know, I don't know what. I just want to enjoy it for what it is, you know. And when it's done well, you know, again, back to the winning cures everything. I come from sports, so that's all I can think of. But it did. Like, again, I would take a Dr. Fate anything over a Doctor Strange anything every day, all day long. And I've literally seen him one time. I didn't even know who the hell he was before I went into that movie. So, yeah. I think it speaks a lot to it, but I think it hurts DC a lot, right? Knowing that you didn't get to these things first when you did get to them first, right?
Well, you know, I think there's only a few of those characters where there's some crossover because, you know, Batman's unique. You know, Marvel doesn't have a Batman. You know, DC doesn't have an X-Men. So, you know, they both still have some unique type of characters. But, yeah, you know, but there are a lot of characters that you're like, oh yeah, this one's definitely this was popular, so
derivative
they decided, derivative. There you go. But you know, over the years, they've tried to make them unique and have their own backstory. So you know, it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's the last question we got today. So
I think so too.
So sweet, guys. It's been a good day, fun day. I am going to be out of town, so there will be no show Thursday and Friday unless you and Noah decide you guys want to do a show. He'll be here at the house. So he said that he wants to. So if you decide that you guys want to, you guys are more than welcome to. I would love to watch a show while I'm on vacation in Colorado. That would be fun. But if not, no big deal. We won't have a show on Thursday and Friday, most likely. But we will be here tomorrow and Wednesday, me and Shane. We're still trying to go out and see Black Adam together so we can have kind of a little spoiler review on it. Would be nice. But yeah, so we appreciate you guys joining us today. Like I said, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for all the comments and questions in the chat. As always, that's the funnest part of the show is, you know, interacting with you guys and taking your guys' comments and questions. So, and yeah, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, notification bell. I see we got 5 people in here. Thumbs up. We should have 5 thumbs up before this is over. So.
Well, you know, maybe they don't like it. You know, that's pretty presumptuous.
Then stop watching it.
We should have at least a dislike. At least dislike it. If you don't like it,
then give us the thumbs down.
Well, no impartial here. We want a yes or no. This is Rotten Tomatoes.
Right. Any kind of thumb is good, but yeah, just so make sure you do that and make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, like I said, so you can always know when we're going live and stuff like that. You never know when we may have to drop some crazy breaking news. So I've been joined again by my friend and co-host and colleague Shane. Shane, it's been another good day, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. We will see you guys all back here tomorrow. Thanks again for joining us. And, you guys have a good one.